society is how it treats its women and girls. It's women and girls. We create the smart, powerful, creative, accomplished young women. We can fight. I'm here because of you. I'm here because girls like you inspire me. Many of these girls have faced unthinkable obstacles just to attend school. Of any society is how it treats its women and girls. Won't stand still. Your story is my story. Your story is my story. Won't be shamed. Your story is my story. Your story is my story. Story. I told them that they should disregard anyone who demeans or devalues them.
Buckle up, buttercups. It's another episode of Surly Voices here on WMNF Tampa 88.5. My name is Liz, and my co-host Donna is in the studio. It's so nice to have you back in town, Donna. Oh, my gosh.
Yes, so for folks who are listening right now, my name is Donna. I've been on this show for 7 years, giving selflessly of my time, and I forgot my code at the front door this morning, and one of my compatriots would not allow me in the door. So I was almost late, but I got in here. I am black, so,
there's that.
There's that. And Liz has the audacity to be white. Okay, so good morning, Lisa.
White and remembered my code.
Right. I'm going to remember my code. I put it in right. It just wouldn't do it. And sometimes I put it in 3 times. It won't go.
It took me a couple of tries this morning, too. Maybe it's the cold weather.
I'm just glad the police didn't get called.
Yeah.
All right, so good morning, Lisa and everyone else. I am going to talk about a few things this morning, and then we're going to lighten it all up because there's a lot going on. So I stayed up late last night researching for you guys. We're going to talk about the stuff that everyone else is talking about.
Yeah.
The stuff you already heard about on NPR this morning that prefaces the show, and the stuff that you hear about on mainstream media. But we're going to give you an unvarnished, no holds barred perspective on that, which is what we do.
Yes.
In addition to making very accurate predictions about the political climate, local, national, global.
They should be interviewing us instead of that dusty-ass James Carville all the time. That dude, he reminds me of Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
For sure.
My precious.
that was dead on. That's dead on. The arrest warrants have been issued for Benjamin Netanyahu and Mohammed Deif, and also Yoav Gallant, his first lieutenant, whom he fired last month. I can't imagine that conversation.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that conversation between two ghouls. And he also, for Hamas, speaking of ghouls, military chief Mohammed Deif. So these guys are, baked into the same cake and creating global chaos, threatening to take us to the brink of World War III. If we're not already in it, that's the sort of thing you don't find out until, later. Mm-hmm. October 7th is my birthday. So I was just having a good time with myself and celebrating, myself and my ancestors. And I woke up the next morning and I thought, my goodness, not my birthday for World War III.
Yeah.
So hasn't ended. Speaking of war, Ukraine. The Ukraine earlier this week used U.S.-sponsored long-range missiles. And so there was supposed to be a clapback on Wednesday. It happened overnight last night. There is no telling. Of course, you guys know that there's North Korean soldiers there. on the border, helping out Russia. This has gotten the United States up in its feelings, the empire writ large, and they are also threatening to take us to the brink of a Cold War. And it sounds like Putin is threatening, is using the words nuclear weapons. Okay, so coming from Putin, though, he's not a guy you want to take lightly, but I kind of do take him lightly because he talks a lot.
Yeah, he does talk a lot.
And then 18 senators, this is a big deal. Stay with me on this one, joined Senator Bernie Sanders in voting for a bill that he's put forth to stop arms sales to Israel. I have a lot to say about that, but I'm going to assume you guys are going to keep hearing about that all day long. But the top line for me is 18. That's a big number.
It is.
Thinking about where we came from, where it was so difficult to get people to say, maybe we shouldn't be doing all of this, just a year ago. And now 18 senators say, yeah, we should probably not be doing that. And that combined with the arrest warrants being issued for Netanyahu and Mohammed Deif and his Netanyahu's first lieutenant. Please, guys, forgive me. I got a little scrambled coming in this morning. So there's
the unexpected door monitor,
the hall pass monitor. Yes. I mean, this is a great place. Let me just say that. This WMNF, I have met people. I have been in community with folks I would never have expected. When I volunteered last October for the phone drive, I break an Apple product every time I come in here. So maybe I shouldn't do it again. Should find another way to volunteer. But I have made, Finn and those guys, I've made the most unlikely friendships, and they are so dear to me, and this place is so dear to me. So I'm kind of sorry that happened, but here we are. The Trump administration picks. Yes, you guys have heard so much. Someone said to me yesterday, and I hope they're listening. Willie said this yesterday. He wants it to be as terrible, as silly, as nasty as possible. Because people will understand why we have the rules that we have. I remember Obama said that at the end of his term about Trump and some of the things that he'd done that they were investigating at the time. And people are going to understand where they are better after they have this 3-ring Barnum and Bailey special that we're about to go through. One can hope, though, because you didn't think that they would elect him again either. So here you will. I thought
we thought it, but
we were pretty sure. And so Pete Hegseth, RFK, at Elon Musk, and not the least of these, Matt Gaetz, all embroiled in sexual misconduct scandals, right? Yesterday, the Senate voting to suppress the sexual misconduct accounting of Matt Gaetz because they understand. That tells you everything you need to know. And I got to stand up for this one. Every once in a while, I got on my Blessed Are the Womb dress this morning. Blessed are the fruits of our womb dress I got at Target. Now, my thing is, when they tell you that they won't release it, it tells you how bad it is.
Yeah.
They're going to say, oh, people don't need to know this. We actually do. You're talking about the Attorney General, right?
Right.
The Attorney General is responsible for, maintaining the image and the practicum, applied law, and your lawyer, Liz. And would you want someone with innumerable sexual misconduct?
No, I would not.
Okay, where is everybody? There's nobody in the studio this morning. So that's problematic. RFK's nanny has come forward. Matt Gaetz is accused of paying a 17-year-old. This sounds very Epstein-esque. So, on the back end of that, the good stuff that's happening is the long-awaited Wicked premiere came out. I saw it early yesterday. because I love movies.
Yes.
I used to not love movies. I do now because I'm old, and I don't have to move, and the people are doing the moving for me. They're having the adventure for me. My life is not as I love it. So Ariana Grande, if you don't know her, she's one of the largest stars in the world. Although for our particular demographic, they may not be familiar with her. She's a wonderful voice. If you guys might remember her from her singing at Whitney Houston's funeral.
Yes.
She's a 5-octave voice. Cynthia Enviro. Now, you know her from Harriet. Mm-hmm. And she is a self-described feminist, which is why I ventured to put this in this morning, because normally we've done more politics and pop culture lately, haven't we, Liz?
Yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to I figured it would make it lighter.
Yeah.
Now, I saw Wicked on Broadway, and I also saw it
at the Straz.
Okay. And I saw it I didn't see the Straz.
I saw it at the Straz.
Did you see the Straz?
Yeah.
I saw it on Broadway in 2019, pre-COVID, different world.
Yeah.
And it was okay. I thought the dancing, it was just interesting. And I saw it again last night. It was big, it's colorful, it's in your face. It tries to do a lot of things. I will let the right-wing folks talk about all of the things that it tries to do. Some of the things it does successfully. It successfully features a woman who loves woman as one of the stars. It successfully features a man who loves men as the male lead. It successfully plays with gender and sexual orientation in some of the dance numbers where men are kind of twirling men.
Yeah.
Right? And it just kind of, it does that effortlessly, I think. Nessa Rose is in a wheelchair because there was a problem with her feet at birth in the real story. I would just say to you guys who are interested in that, go see Gladiator. No, not real. Not serious. Go and see it. I think it's a fun, big movie in the Spielberg tradition without the masterful execution of the plot. I feel like that's something that's going to rest squarely in the domain of boomers and older Gen Xers. Those long-form stories. I mean, people have attention spans. These folks have attention spans. And so they assume that the viewers do, too. Oliver Stone, people like that.
Holy cow,
And this movie, I feel it presumes that the viewers don't have attention spans. It's just jumps all around. And it gives you pieces of this and a slice of that and a corner of this and a crumb of that. And it eventually gets to its destination. But there's one scene that made the whole movie worthwhile for me.
What was it?
I cried before the actor cried. And that's how I knew that the actor probably felt what she was acting. It was Cynthia that, she said some terrible things about Black American women. She's from UK, right? But I enjoy her art. And I can separate the two, unlike a lot of my contemporaries. And she is dancing. She goes out on the dance floor and she dances by herself. And it's this weird, awkward, even worse than the Wednesday dance. Wednesday dance was actually kind of cute, right? But she's dancing with her, and Ariana Grande's character, Glinda, she changed it at the end. She took the "g" out. She's still airhead. She plays the airhead. And they're dancing, and they're mirroring each other's moves. And I saw the full endorsement, not just in the movie sense, but in the people sense. These two women, one told the other, I am the classic beauty here, but I see you. I see you. And I felt that. And that was the best part of the movie. Now, if you were watching a Spielberg movie or an Oliver Stone movie, you'd get those moments, those me, you, sister, never part. You get those moments all through the movie. But in this movie, they only managed to pull off one. And that's why I say my generation has it going on when it comes to really telling a story. Okay.
Right. And then in case you didn't have this on your bingo card, I actually agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on something. She says she's wanting this Gates report released, and she wants to release all the sexual harassment claims in Congress. $17 million, she says, has been paid out in settlements to quash any kind of...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and that, I don't know how far back that goes, but yeah, this is the first time that I've ever agreed, and probably ever will again, agreed with her. But yes, I do agree. Bring out all the laundry, honey, because it's dirty.
It's just ugly. It's just ugly. I really hope someone is cussing us out here. We take a lot of that, so we don't really mind it.
We like it, actually, because we use it in our PR.
We use it in PR, and we don't mind criticisms. We can take it as good as we get it. But this morning, among the criticisms is someone who says they're done with the Democratic Party. They're weaponizing anti-Semitism to silence Palestinian voices. Okay, so I read that wrong. That's not actually a criticism. You see it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And that's a usual, someone who's with us regularly.
Yeah,
right?
someone who sends us mail regularly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we don't mind you guys calling us names and chastising us. But just be sure you can take it too.
I'm sure somebody will come up. Yeah.
Every week. Yeah. Don't mind at all. All right, moving right along.
But I live in a condo. It has rules. Yeah. One of the rules is you cannot hang anything other than the U.S. flag.
Right.
Or, like if one of the sports teams is going to some kind of championship. Yeah.
Sarsaparilla.
Yeah. So, and if you do hang one of these forbidden flags, you get a 10-day warning to take it down. So, one of my neighbors hung a Trump flag.
Oh, wow.
Almost exactly 10 days before the election. And then also a We Support Israel flag. And I complained because I don't want to look at that as soon as I drive in.
Yes.
And so then a lot of people complained. However, there's a 10-day grace period, which just happened to end at the same time.
Right.
Well, in the meanwhile, I ordered a Free Palestine flag. So seems like a good time to hang it today.
Yes.
For 10 days.
And I'd like to know what happens.
I will certainly give a report next week.
Yeah, because there's a gross gross double standard around how we talk about these, right? If someone says, what about the babies? Somebody says, well, what about Hamas? Well, you shouldn't blow up people, right? We know that. We live in the United States.
Nobody is endorsing what Hamas did. No.
Nobody's endorsing that. But this thing has gone on. And it's gone on to the tune of tens of thousands of people, and half of which are children, because half of the population of Palestine, which now we're having an ambassador that says Palestine doesn't exist, that it never existed.
Right.
So it's getting really convenient and feeling very neo-colonial-esque out there.
Speaking of which, next week is White People Colonizer Day.
Is it?
Yes.
So what is that exactly, Liz? Could you tell us about that?
Well, some folks call it Thanksgiving. And Frank asked me when I was coming in if we were going to be here next week. I'm like, yeah. It's one of our biggest shows, White People Colonizer Day. Yeah.
Right.
So
I should call the police on that day. I should call the police on Columbus Day. Yes, I'd like to report an ongoing crime. Yes.
So yeah, if you are opting out of the usual festivities, which I don't know what there is to celebrate really, but you can join us next week at 10 o'clock, and we will be live and our usual surly selves. So, all right. So yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I agree with. For once in my life, and probably the only time.
What'd she say this time?
Well, she wants to put all this, she wants the Gates report out and every other report there ever was.
Is she just sour grapes now because she didn't get on the list of who's who for this?
I'm really surprised she didn't, because nobody capes harder for Donald Trump than she does.
Yeah, but she's unhinged in a different way.
She is.
Right?
Absolutely.
These guys are just all kind of criminals that are just doing their thing in their own little sandbox. And she is just like, she took a picture of me one time. I told you guys about that.
Yes.
We were protesting at SCOTUS, and she got these pictures of me and my sister getting dragged out of the rotunda. We were up there, protesting for, oh my goodness, what one was that? It was not reproductive rights that time. It was Medicare, health care.
Yeah.
Right? Cuts to Medicare, VA, things like that. And that's why we were up
Speaking
there.
of Dr. Oz.
Oh my goodness.
Is going to be in charge of that now. So
she got these pictures and she displayed them, and it was on CNN. And I was like, oh, I'm on CNN by proxy.
Yeah.
Again, the last time I was on there, my mom was like, what is happening? What are you doing now? Are you in Al Qaeda? My mom asked me that. I don't think she understood what Al Qaeda is. Right. It's like, you just do too much. My dad was like, when are you going to outgrow this? Aren't you over 40? I'm like, come on, join me, guys. Make your golden years fun.
Let me clarify. What she's saying is, if they release the Gates report, she's going to release then we should release all the reports. Well, I just say, call her bluff. Call her bluff and do it. Release the Gates report and every other one. I bet you there's so many people sitting up there right now who've been doing that.
But she better be careful, though. Remember, we talked about this last week. People were saying, oh, my goodness, there's criminals in Washington. And I was like, guys, this goes back to the 1800s. Like, we've been doing this for a long time. One guy ran from prison and was elected. I said that last week.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, look that up. Google that. So I think she better be careful. She'd better be careful. And let me tell you why. These guys are all pretty smoky fellas, right? Mm-hmm. All of them. Mm-hmm. And she's a smoky fella herself. And I think if she continues to shake the cage, they're going to turn on her.
Oh, yeah. Well, they probably already have with this little stunt. But
So somewhere there might be a growing dossier.
Yeah, I don't know that it's sour grapes necessarily, but it probably is, because she seems like the sour grapes kind of person. So
she seems like she can't let anything go ever,
yes.
She seems like she can't let anything go. And I feel like she's probably just stewing in her own juices,
Right. But anyway, go ahead and release them all. I want to see them all. I'd love to see them all.
I'm kind of sick of it. I was talking to a friend of mine in Maine the other day, and he said, I said, I'm going to share these tips on the air. He said that he's taken CNN off of his phone. That he's not joining Blue Sky, which I highly recommend. And that he is unfollowing anyone that's like not reading the room, talking about things like buying a boat, just being really lavish and ostentatious. And he said that he's going to the Keys for Christmas, which might not be as relaxing as he thinks it will be. But he says he knows where to go. He doesn't go to the main areas.
Right.
And I thought those were very good recommendations for people who just for their own balanced mental health, well-being, need to check out for a while. I find myself being not really, I think I'm not thinking about it. When I do the research for the show, of course I have to think about it, but I think I am not thinking about it, but I find myself more angry in general. Like my husband, him chewing, I'm like,
oh, I can't stand hearing somebody chew with their mouth open. Oh, it drives me crazy.
And he's chewing with his mouth closed.
Oh.
I'm just like an angry person.
How dare you masticate?
Dare you eat, sir? Right? Stop that right now. And so I just find that I am more easily bothered by little things, where at my age, I thought I had conquered that. We've got an email from Jennifer Sullivan. I have to read these things before I read them because I don't know what I'm going to be reading. Do you think she's advocating releasing all of the reports to show how many people on both sides so it lessens the severity of Gates's actions.
I think she knows who's got reports, and it's a lot of people in her party, and that's how she's trying to make them hold the line and not release the report.
Yeah.
So it's like and this is my opinion, not the opinion of WMNF. It's a form of blackmail or extortion against the people in her party. Because if it was just the Democrats, she'd release that like it would have already happened. And so what she's doing is saying, I know who's got reports, and y'all release his, and everybody else is coming out too, which is fine with me. Like I said, I don't care which side of the aisle they're on. If we've been paying like millions and millions of dollars in settlement fees for these people, absolutely, we should all know exactly who's got reports and how much they paid out. If you want to give us a call, 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org. You're listening to Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5.
So there's this really fascinating article about Steve Bannon. I think it's in The Atlantic. I saw it on Apple News last week. And it sounds to me like either this guy is making himself like this masterful prognosticator of Republican goings on, or he is a truly masterful prognosticator.
He's the puppet master.
Right? I can't tell which, because he just lacks general credibility in my eyes, right? Help me out, guys, if you think this is wrong. I look at this guy and I think, how? But you can't deny his success. And I don't, and for the folks that, my neoliberal friends are going to call up and they're going to at me and they're going to say, how could you say that about this guy? Well, there was a time in this country where regardless, I was going to say irregardless, Seinfeld is a misnomer word, irregardless of someone's failings, we were still able to see their success.
Yes.
Right? And now, if you have failings and enough of us agree on your failings, then we trash your success instead of attempting to learn from it, which is one of the reasons this country was like the home of the innovator.
Right.
Among other things. But we're just talking about this right now. And you guys, we can keep these things separate. And he's like a Karl Rove.
Yes.
He's just been wildly successful. He says that he told Donald Trump, in this article he says, he told Donald Trump not to debate Joe Biden, because if he did, they would switch him out.
Well.
Yeah. It was a fascinating article. I'm going to pull it up here so I can tell you guys so you can go and read it yourselves instead of me trying to paraphrase the whole thing for you. But it was pretty special.
Well, I mean, it was clear to everybody except his inner circle that Biden was not going to be able to withstand any kind of pressure at all because he's been losing his faculties. And so I also don't often agree with Nancy Pelosi, and I absolutely loathe her. But yeah, Biden should not have even attempted to run again. Let's talk to Fran in Largo. Hi, Fran.
Oh, hi there. Yes, what you were describing earlier about Marjorie Taylor Greene and her personality. She's a grudge holder and things like that. She's a mirror of Donald Trump, the way he is. And so a person like that, maybe she's going to be throwing some monkey wrenches into this whole thing that's going on now. Trump's appointees and Gates and all these other people that have had have hanky-panky scandals and stuff like that. That Trump invites that kind of a thing anyways. This is not going to be a smooth transition, I don't think, with someone, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene around. So maybe that's a good thing in a way. I'm so afraid of some of these appointees anyways, like that guy from Hedgeworth or whatever his name is, the one with the tattoos, the religious tattoos. That's kind of scary, people like that, putting them in charge of the Pentagon, and he has some scandal attached to him too. So I mean, it's just the kind of a thing that someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and maybe she's got some associates that agree with her too. They can just start some trouble going to slow this stupid thing down. I don't know. Anything they do at this point is okay with me. And, that's all I'm thinking, So, okay, thanks for letting me say my piece here.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
so much, Fran. Bye-bye. So, and Steve Bannon is newly minted out of jail, but, it's like he only was in there for 4 months. It's like I could do 4 months standing on my head.
But what was so fascinating about this article, and I cannot find it, but what was so fascinating about it is that he found an alliance with black males from the inner city.
In jail?
Yes.
Ooh.
He said they thought he was gangster.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I don't know why this stuff doesn't come to the top of the news, right?
I would have loved to hear about that.
I'm going to find it. But he said that they thought he was gangster and that he understands now the necessity of the First Step Act, which is, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the mass incarceration is a nonpartisan issue. Like, everyone is trying to figure out, I guess the money has got there. It costs too much to house on and feed all those people.
But with prison privatization, there's money to be made. Yeah, slavery.
Yes, but he is saying that I think that maybe if they can get these guys to be Republicans.
Oh, my God.
Yes, and it's happening, right? Now, these are long-term strategies which Democrats have trouble with. They have trouble with long-term strategy.
Democrats are like, I can't even think of a good analogy because Democrats are so scattered and unorganized and have no long-range goals whatsoever.
Right.
And Republicans have been planning this stuff forever, and now they're seeing the fruits of their labors.
They are. This stuff started in the 80s, at least.
Yeah.
The 80s, or maybe post-Nixon. But I thought it was fascinating. He's talking about mass incarceration. I think that's going to become a big platform issue for Republicans. And I wouldn't say Trump because he's done.
Yeah.
Right? He's done. But for Republicans, and Bannon is not done because he's going to be around advising these guys. Because if you could get Trump to the White House twice, there's no denying. And that's what I was saying. Let's not be afraid to call out someone's success, especially when their being successful could be life or death for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And so he went on to say that the First Step Act is something that my son worked with that organization that brought that forward. And it really addresses a lot of the core of mass incarceration. I mean, it's going to take a while for its fruits to be, for it to reach fruition. But it was just so fascinating the way he talked about. He said that he and Trump have never gotten into it. He said the only thing they ever got into it about was him telling him you shouldn't debate Biden, and that he speaks to Trump all the time. Like, he's in the mix. And I guess...
So that's his call from the payphones. Is like, you have a collect call from...
Right. It's the call that you get to tell you to throw the fight, right? It's the gang, it's the wise guys. And Steve Bannon is his wise guy. And we really should be watching this guy because Trump is done in 4 years, but Trumpism is not. MAGA's not done in 4 years.
No.
And Steve Bannon, one of the chief authors of this ideology and the way it's reshaping American politics. And I see people who are party operatives saying, I don't understand it and I don't want to understand it.
Right.
When have you ever heard someone who is losing badly, who has been beaten about the head and shoulders for 8 years, when have you ever heard them say, I don't want to understand my opponent? People sit and watch videos of their opponents.
Yeah.
For hours to really understand how they play the game or how they tumble or how they do triple loots, right? Like
Right.
they study their opponents. And I continue to hear folks who are well-positioned in the party say that they don't want to understand. I think that's misguided and it's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's a funny text from one of our listeners when I was talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene blackmailing people. They said green mail.
You're green mailing.
She's green mailing
That's a good
them.
one.
Yes,
That's a good
I
one.
like it. Thank
That's a
you.
good one.
So where's all the callers? Are y'all all frozen to the trees like the iguanas?
People are exhausted.
813-239-9663. Or you can email to dj@wmnf.org.
Yes.
Speaking of felons and former prisoners, there's a Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix. And it goes through it was like the rise and fall and rise of
Yes.
Martha Stewart. It was really interesting. Yeah.
It's like number one. It was number one the last time I was scrolling through there. So it must be pretty arresting. People are telling people to watch it.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I was not necessarily compelled.
I kind of rolled my eyes at it, but I'm like, let me see how, what she has to say about it.
Fascinating person.
Yeah. It really is a good documentary.
She went from she was like like a MAGA philosophy person to I'm sure she's a raging liberal now. I'm sure she caught the disease, right? So, and Democrats from the other side, speaking of not wanting to understand your opponent, Democrats from the other side, Republicans are saying, y'all need to break up with neoliberalism. And I just feel and I wanted to get into that this week, but I just didn't have the energy for it because I'm an American citizen too, and I'm going through the same things that you all are going through. And I really wanted to get into the psychology of the modern Democrat, the well-educated, well-heeled liberal that purports to be true blue down to their core. We know some of the things that come with that, right? Like as a black woman living in America, I know some of the things that come with that liberalism, right? It's not what it looks like. It's not all love, right?
Right.
And so I really want to compel the Democrats and liberals in particular to really look at.
And we need to have a common ground definition of what liberal is, what neoliberal is, what these different terms mean, because it's getting to where people are being just as careless about throwing around names as our MAGA friends are saying, like communist and socialist, and it's like, you don't have any idea what these words mean. You're just using them for insults.
But speaking of that, I feel like we got a couple callers. We're coming. So let me just finish this thought. I think that, and I'm going to convict myself first, right? Because I believe in owning and admitting when you've done something untoward.
Yes.
A little spicy activity. Now, all right, I'm not above it, right? Like, none of us are, right? And people, we're capable of things we can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Right? Given the set of circumstances, right? So I would just like to say that I convict first. I'm the first convict number one. And I'd like to say that I am guilty of speaking about and to would-be voters in ways that alienate. I am guilty of not wanting to talk to people who don't share my points of view. I am guilty of, when I had teachable moments and an opportunity to teach and share, folks who were being vulnerable and they were being responsive to the things that they were hearing just ambiently in the town square,
right?
Generally on social media or mainstream media. they wanted to talk about those things with someone that they saw as, someone who was knowledgeable on the issue. And I told people to Google it. I used my same set of thumbs to type to tell people that they had Googled, when they were Google professors and they had gone to Google University. Like, how do you, that makes no sense.
Right.
And that the general tone of the last 7 or 8 years has been very arrogant and rooted in academia. And though an unprecedented number of millennials have college degrees, it does not let us off the hook in the way that we talk to people in different socioeconomic groups. Because I almost said different classes, but I really don't like those terms. Because a person can have an advanced degree and be making $28,000 a year as an adjunct, right? So socioeconomics kind of blends those two things. And so I feel like there's been a growing chasm between the socioeconomic groups, and it's shown up in this election.
And just because you are extremely well educated does not mean you have any sense at all.
But the thing is, even people who are close to me, the more educated they are, the more off the mark they seem to be, increasingly so.
Yeah.
Go to our callers.
All right, let's talk to Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, you guys. Thanks.
How you doing?
For your show. And I just want to let you know that your show is the first news that I have taken in a week.
Oh.
I've cut off everything because I can't handle it anymore. And going to your conversation about higher education, and let's go a little step further to quote-unquote prestigious education, what the hell's going on up at Yale in their law school?
What is going
on? Talk
on?
about it. Tell us. Give us
Yeah.
a run us up.
A lot of really, really bad people who are stalwarts in the government now.
Oh, yeah. Yale
And I
puts
also
out,
wanted to
yeah,
ask
Yale
you
is
guys
where
if
all...
You would talk
Go
a
ahead,
little
sorry.
bit about recess appointments. How
Okay.
many can a president make? Is it limited? How long can they be made for? And also comment on the fact that the Senate refused Rick Scott as the speaker. It feels like a little bit of pushback to Trump because Scott was his choice, and the choice was Thune. And is it possible that, I don't want to go to the Wizard of Oz here, but is it possible that Thune and Cornyn and some of the admittedly very conservative Republicans may be the adults in the room to create some kind of a wall to prevent Trump from doing everything that he wants to do? And I'll take my answer off the air. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Sarah.
So I think people are taking their own political careers, and you know how self-obsessed this ilk is. They campaign that it's all about the people, but they, fall apart if they don't get reelected, right?
Right.
And so I would say that, boy, this is we go further and further out there every week. It's like trying to reach for a ball in water.
Right.
The more you reach for it, the further away it gets.
Yeah.
I think these folks are going to be taking their careers into their own hands, if they decide to take on Trump, and that they better be busy right now forming a coalition, and they better know people's loyalties before they step out alone. Like, these people don't have the type of mettle that Bernie Sanders has.
Right.
Right. Or even John McCain. Like, if let's keep it real. For a long time, John McCain.
Finally, after all the atrocities, finally he did the right thing one time, and he's now Saint John McCain.
Lieberman. These guys, kind of walked in two worlds. And they were not afraid to say, those people couldn't exist in this current environment.
Right.
You've got to be completely loyal to one or the other. You see what they've done to Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and nobody moved to rescue Missouri. What's her name? Black woman from Missouri who was a nurse.
It's not coming to me.
So nobody ran to rescue the Congressman Cori Bush.
Yes.
Right? Nobody spoke up for her. Maybe AOC did, right? But AOC should be rich by now, and she's very famous.
Yeah.
Right? You think of the honorarium that she can command at this point. And so I don't see her as an authentic voice in this space. But she's wealthy enough and popular enough in her district. People are voting for Trump and AOC. Mm-hmm. And I said last week on my Facebook page, you guys said horseshoe theory doesn't exist, but here we are. And then I heard on the media, they called it a horseshoe vote, which was so satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
So satisfying. And so I'm realizing now that if you just think about it without your emotions, without leading with your emotions, you could actually hear what people are saying. Mm-hmm. But having said all of that, if these guys step out on their own and they don't know if they've got 25 allies, you've got to know, because if not, you're going to lose everything.
It's like a real live episode of Survivor where people mm-hmm. form alliances, and sometimes they have 3 and 4 alliances. And yeah. All right, let's talk to Howard in Clearwater. Hi, Howard.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. You know, it never surprises me when I hear the Cleveland Browns didn't make it to the Super Bowl.
I had to sit down for that.
Yeah.
Go on.
Right. Because they don't know how to put a football team on the field that's going to win.
Right. I know where this is going, but go on. It's so delicious.
Neither does the DNC, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So when you get somebody like Tom Brady, who wins, 5 or 6 consecutive championships, mm-hmm. he's the best of the best. Mm-hmm. That's what the Republican folks with the aid of people like Steve Bannon are turning into. Mm-hmm. You can look forward to maybe 3 or 4 Republican presidents coming down the line, unless the DNC learns to do something different, which I'm pretty sure they will not.
Of course not, because they do what they want to do, and,
Right. So, it's you might as well start looking for President Vance coming down the line, because that's what it's going to be, unless something serious. So think about that kind of dystopian future where it's more like the Hunger Games, 3 or 4 Republican presidents down the line.
Right.
Or, it can really happen.
Something has to be done differently. If not by the DNC, then by who?
I think the time is ripe for the rise of a third party that has actual teeth in it.
Right. But that's a long-term process. You don't win something like that overnight. So again, 10, 15, 16 years from now.
Right. Well, true.
But, it's either somebody does it or somebody doesn't.
Well, what about this? Howard? Sometimes we need a new bridge. Mm-hmm. And we can't get a new bridge because the old bridge is
serviceable.
Yeah, serviceable. But what if something knocks the bridge down? Oh. Right? What if there's catastrophe, devastation? We have to rebuild, and we can rebuild in which form we like.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And I think the catastrophe just about happened.
Hey.
Well, yeah, I don't think it could get much more.
It can.
True. Yeah, let me not invite.
You're not going to have the stomach for the deportations. Okay? It's going to be like on a grand scale. They are adamant about it. They have already hypnotized themselves into being indifferent to the toll that this is going to take on human life. What they won't be able to anesthetize themselves to is the economic impact of it. I think that's where we're going to get off that bus. But if this thing is as catastrophic as some of the things that they'd like to attempt, because these people are not learned individuals, they don't really understand governance. And they're attempting to govern, right? Mm-hmm. And there's an old adage that says that a man who seeks to govern others must first govern himself. And so we have these ungovernable people who have sexual assault, they have misdeeds, economic misdeeds, they've robbed people. Donald Trump himself has been responsible for people losing their entire savings. They have engaged in all types of untoward behavior, up to and including treason.
Right.
And they are going to try to govern these United States. Well, what could go wrong there?
Right.
Yeah. The safety valve on this is who's controlling the bank accounts, which is not the White House. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The White House doesn't control the national bank account. And the bankers are only going to let them go so far until it starts to hit the bottom line negatively, and they'll pull the plug on that one. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of a safety valve there because it's always about money. The United States is only and ever will be about money.
Yes.
Since its inception.
Yep. All right. Thanks so much for calling, Howard.
Have a great weekend, and if we don't chat with you next weekend, enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. I know you'll be working, but hey, could be worse.
Absolutely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
So Frank sent one of his texts to me, which perfectly illustrates the point I was making earlier about let's define our terms. Frank says, one listener didn't want to talk, said your conversation is communist socialist. So, yeah, that's exactly that's exactly the point I was making before. Nathan in Bradenton. Hi, Nathan.
How?
Hello. Thank you for giving me a chance to share with you guys. I just wanted to comment very quickly. I saw a news bit on PBS the other day, and I think it pertains to a couple of things you guys have been discussing. And it was a very good article by David Brooks about the situation we're currently in right now as far as academia and the separation in society. And part of the reason that the Democratic Party is so turned into an elitist type of thinking, and then also on the other end of the spectrum, right-wing, obviously thinking the same way. And I very much appreciate you guys mentioning the third party as well, because I think things are kind of coming to a head. And I would recommend everybody to kind of listen at least to the news bit from David Brooks. And the guy's really smart, and I guess he's a Harvard professor, and also I know he's kind of leans a little right, but some of the things he was discussing that I think really speak to me. I actually have my HVAC technician license, and I could have went to college, but I think that what's happened, and I know a lot of college educated people, and you talked about the common sense,
right?
And I think that that's lacking.
Yes.
And yep. So I think there's a lot on the table that really needs to be addressed, but the Democratic Party has some soul searching to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, you don't say.
Democratic Party needs a good saging and knocking all the people out from the top echelons.
So,
yeah,
Nathan, Nathan, I don't know how old you are, but tell me what you think about Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
I honestly can't even speak on the topic, so you'll have to familiarize me with him.
Oh, good. Well,
he's
it's a relief to hear that you don't listen to him.
Yeah,
so.
because he's getting a lot of people that are, Democrats and even progressives. He, is a pronounced
misogynist.
Yeah, and transphobe. But call us back next week. Check him out and call us back next week. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on him.
Yeah, and if anything, I would say that I lean in the middle with both sides. I would call myself an independent. But I think that, you really hit on something earlier about kind of turning a blind eye to what's happened. Mm-hmm. Because if they're going to be honest with what happened, they got their butts kicked.
Absolutely,
really figure out what they got to do to turn this thing around if they really want to.
We're going to dig into that next week. Thank you for calling.
Oh, yeah, that's a good topic for White People Colonizer Day.
Well, Jordan Peterson's coming here in March, and I'm going to go see him because I want to know who's in there. I need to know who's in there.
Yeah, who's in the room.
So much.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan. Bye-bye.
We should go.
All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, a bunch of us should go.
We should.
Oh, March, you say?
Yes.
What's the venue?
Amelie.
Oh, what? That dude can fill Amelie?
Yes, and the tickets they're going like hotcakes in Tampa.
Holy cow. Yeah, we definitely need to go and report on who is in there. Okay, Frank just gave me the finger, which means we have to wrap it up. So join us next week on Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5. Yes, we will be live and in all of our glory on Thanksgiving Day. So once you can't stand listening to your racist uncle anymore, turn us up loud and proud. See you next week.
I like stunning. I like shining. I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? Bitch, I'm signing. I like those